This week I want to show you the beautiful and delicate spider stitch. This crochet stitch is a 1-row repeat, and all it is a series of chain 1s and single crochets. I love how the spider stitch works up with this weight 4 yarn, so I wanted to show you it. But because it's a little bit delicate and hard to see, I'm actually going to use this chunky yarn for the tutorial. So we're going to start with an even number of chains, and working into the second chain from hook, you're going to work a single crochet, chain 1, and single crochet back into that same chain. So we just worked a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet all into the same chain, and we're going to repeat that across. So skip the next chain, skip that chain, and in the following chain do what you just did. Single crochet, chain 1, and single crochet. And that's it, we're just repeating that across. So skip the next chain, and in the following chain, single crochet, chain 1, and single crochet. At the end of the row, you should have 2 chains remaining. Skip 1 chain, and in the last chain, work your single crochet, chain 1, and single crochet. And row 2 is going to be very similar to this, but we are going to be working into all our chain 1 spaces. So chain 1 and turn, and that brings us to row 2. So working into your first chain 1 space that you created in the row below. So skip this first single crochet, and then working into this first chain 1 space, you're going to single crochet, chain 1, and single crochet. So a really repetitive and easy to remember pattern. So skip the next 2 single crochets, and that should bring you to your next chain 1 space. So skip those 2 single crochets, and into this chain 1 space, you're going to repeat what we just did. So work your single crochet, chain 1, and single crochet, and we're just doing this all the way across. And we're repeating this row for the entirety of the pattern, so you can just keep repeating row 2 until your project reaches your desired length. You can see here what it looks like after a few more rows, and at the end of the rows, so still this is row 2 that I'm showing you, because that's all we're repeating. You're single crocheting into your last chain 1 space, chain 1, and then single crochet back into that same chain 1 space, chain 1, and turn, and we're just doing the same thing over and over again. Single crochet, chain 1, and single crochet all into the chain 1 spaces. That was a weight 6 yarn, I believe. This is a weight 4 yarn, which is the yarn that I usually use for my tutorials, but for some reason with the spider stitch, it looks so delicate, which I do love, but it's harder to see. But this is what it looks like. We're just doing the same thing in all our chain 1 spaces. We are single crocheting, chain 1, and single crochet all into the same chain 1 space. You can see how this pattern kind of creates this V design that goes down in rows all the way across the fabric. It's really beautiful. So here's the spider stitch with 2 different kinds of yarn, 2 different weights of yarn. On the left, you have Color Theory, that's a weight 4 yarn, and on the right is Yarn Bee True Colors, and that's a weight 6 yarn. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. You can also find me on TikTok at modern_made_. You can also find me on Etsy at Modern Made Shop. Thanks so much. I'll catch you next time.